right, ladies and gentlemen. You have just tuned into the Adventures of Sanpriest. Now sit back and enjoy the ride, man.
Straight men nowadays, I'm always like, "Hey, beautiful," and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," "Hey, sir, handsome."
What up, bruh?
Right, "Hey, what's going on?" But I mean, like,
Woo, who was that?
beauty is.
I'm not bad. I can feel, but feel. I can take control of your mind.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Adventures of Sanpriest. I am your host, Sanpriest, and this is a show for everyday people to discuss everyday topics. So, with me, I have someone who is so special to me. I love this person. This is TJ. Hey, baby.
Hey, how are you?
Yes, look at you trying to be shy. We're gonna pull that out.
I am not being shy, honey. No. It was the energy for me. I just love it. Like, I miss you so much. And before we get started, I just want to say how proud of you I am.
No, I'm blushing.
I'm honored to be here.
One, I was like, oh no. As soon as I started thinking about this show, I was like, TJ, because everybody loves you. Everybody loves your energy. You are so beautiful, but not just on the outside. You are beautiful on the inside. You are warm. You are nurturing. We've had some really, really deep conversations about your life and your experiences as well as mine. And the fact that we met at Cardinal Financial during a pandemic, as well as we're working virtually. So we didn't meet each other in person for a while. But we were the two gay boys on the team that always had the same energy. Everybody loved us and we loved each other. And sometimes in situations like that, people get really jealous or people get in their head. But I'm just like, I'm nothing to be jealous of. And you're like, I'm nothing to be jealous of. We were just like, I just appreciate you for being you. And that's when I fell in love with you. Oh, sorry. I wanted to just express my love for you because you've always been sweet to me. Stop. But please tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, I'm trying. You got me fucked up here. Well, I mean, Martavis, I just come from a place of positive energy. Like, I'm born and raised Buffalo, New York. I don't say I'm from New York anymore because people are like, well, what part? What borough? Where you from? No, you upstate. Like, I'm from Buffalo. I'm from Canada. And, I moved to Charlotte after being a flight attendant of like 10 years. And I found myself. And I'm in the lifestyle of just being happy and being able to be who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And after coming out the closet, even though I was always out the closet, like,
Child, we do.
Stop it. Just being able to accept myself and coming from a place of love, like I just want to bring positive energy into this world. And that's just always been who I am. And those things.
So we have ended up working together, and I was like, oh, okay. But it had hit me. We were drunk on Taylorport. Because that was a night, baby. That was a night to remember.
May I? Can I do the honors?
Yeah, I don't care. Drink. Screaming. So for us, first of all, TJ was the first person to introduce me to Taylorport. I did not know anything about Taylorport, and we had decided after we connected and we became like really good friends, we had decided, oh, well, come on, let's have a wine night. So I went over there to his apartment. I met his cat. I met the dog. I met the boo, and he was like, "Here, have a glass." He brings me this beautiful glass of wine, and mind you, TJ does everything upscale. Like, this is a bougie So he brings me this glass of wine and it was a beautiful glass. And I just start sipping. I was like, oh, okay, this, it's sweet. You know, start drinking it, drinking it, drinking it, drunk that glass, drunk another glass, not understanding that Taylor Port is a different type of monster. I'm drinking Taylor Port like it's nothing. Next thing I know, we're in there dancing. I'm in my underwear. You're in your underwear. We're laughing. We kikiing. And then I got done and I'm just like, how am I supposed to get home? Oh, Brandon drove. You drove me home. Brandon followed us.
Dang, was I that tipsy?
Did you drive my car and you were drunk?
No, you. Okay, now hold up now. See, we not about to start lying. Okay. I
I'm
guess
just kidding.
certain memory came back to thought. Yes.
but
Brandon drove our car, and I drove you in your car, and then Brandon drove me back home. Okay, cool,
that's
girl.
because I had to think about it. We ain't really talked about it since, but I don't think either one. Well, I know I didn't drive. I couldn't have. But anywho, so I typically ask this question to everyone because it's intentional. I intentionally ask what gets people up in the morning, and the reason why is because everyone has a different answer. Some people have the same answer, but for the most part, I've been getting different answers, and it's affecting me. So, what helps you get up in the morning?
Oh, a lot of things. But most importantly is that there are a lot of lives that's meant to be saved. Unintentionally. I say that because I think it was 9 or maybe 12 years ago. Girl, I'm telling my age now. About 12 years ago, I was a flight attendant and I got on a plane. You know me, I'm bubbly. So I'm just like, hey, how you doing? You're so gorgeous. And I was a flight attendant and I was talking to this passenger and I was like, hey, beautiful, welcome aboard. And she got on the plane. She looked like she was crying, but I couldn't tell. And then at the end of that flight, she was like, thank you for calling me beautiful. Thank you so much for just being who you are because I was going to kill myself today.
Whoa.
From that moment, I knew that God had me in the right place at the right time. So I have to keep in mind, no matter what's going on in my personal life, I have a job. I consider myself a vessel. Like, I do what I do, not just to save people's lives, but just to bring happiness and positivity in people's lives. So that's what motivates me is like, even when I don't feel like getting up in the morning, I'm awake, I'm alive for a reason. And that's just what I want to keep in mind. Like, no matter what's going on in my life, it can always be 10 times worse. Someone else is going through 50 times as worse than I am.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true. Child, okay, mine's change all the time too. That's why it's probably different for everyone else. But feeding off of yours, like you were right. We do have a different purpose in life, and sometimes we don't see our purpose because it's an unintentional purpose, or maybe not an unintentional purpose, but it's intentional by God. But for us, we don't think that it's intentional. Like you said, you just did your normal routine of just saying hey and being bubbly and nice, and that changed and saved someone's life. And for me, I know what my ministry is. I am going to heal the world because I choose to show them what happens when you love people, what happens when you're kind to people, what happens when you can do things unselfishly for people. And I know that just like one, you do have that gift and you do have that love. And it's hard for a lot of people to just not be selfish, and you're not a selfish person whatsoever. And the one thing that really made me feel like I could trust you and love on you was there was one particular day. It was hard for me, and it was around October, and it was my mom's birthday, and I was feeling so sad, and I just didn't know how to deal with that, because I'm still. I haven't even really grieved yet, you guys, at this point. I'm still in this world where I'm convincing myself that she's not, I mean, that she's still here, you know. But as time progresses and I go months without hearing her voice and months turn into a year, it started to chip away at this delusion I created. And this particular day, I just was not happy and I was sad. And mind you, we're still working virtually. This is COVID time and blah, blah, blah. And I tell TJ because he's like, you don't seem like your normal self. And I was like, today's my mom's birthday. This man came because I get a knock on my door. And mind you, we're still working. I get a knock on my door and it's TJ. This man brought me a flower, a plant that came in this silver bucket. It was so cute. It was like a rustic type of vase, but it was in the shape of a bucket. And he gave me a card. And he just said, I never want you to feel sad and I never want you to feel alone. And I know I have to rush back to work, but I wanted to hug you and let you know that you are loved. And that meant so much to me because it was weird coming from a place where you bump into so many strangers who just are just selfish, who walk all over you or disregard your heart or your emotions because it doesn't matter to them. It's just more so, what can you do for them? And you showed me that a stranger, because we were still strangers at that point. But you, a stranger, took time out of your busy day to show love to someone you didn't know, and you actually have been by my side since. I can call you, and you'll pick up. We don't have to talk every day, but I know your love for me is genuine, and my love for you is genuine. You know, so that meant the world to me, and I will let you know that plant is still alive. 3 years later, baby. 3 years. Wait. Years later, baby, that plant is still alive. It'll be 3 years in October. But again, that meant so much to me because you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do any of those things, but you took time to just say, I think you deserve love. And you were right. I deserve love, and I received all of your love. So thank you for being an amazing person. So yes, you're right. You have a gift, baby. And you have not only a gift, you have a purpose. And your purpose, it is, yes, it is to love. But I see bigger things for you. I'm just waiting for you to tap into your inner beauty. I'm waiting for you to tap into your talents and your gifts because the world deserves you. You know, you don't deserve the world. The world deserves you because you're a different type of creature. You're a different type of human, you know. So remember that even on your darkest days, remember that you do have a purpose, but you within yourself are a gift to the world. So, anywho, sorry, I didn't mean to go on my tangent. So changing the mood a little bit, we're going to play my favorite game, Spin Sans Wheel. So I'm going to pull up my wheel. And with this wheel, there's going to be a plethora of questions as well as actions. Whatever this pen lands on, either you're going to answer the question or you're going to complete that action. And with that being said, we're about to start the game. So, spinning this wheel.
No.
We spinning and spinning. I said we spinning. We spinning. We spinning and spinning. We said we spinning. Yes. Here we go. Come on. Boom. Okay, this isn't bad. What is the 10th? Well, you can choose between the 10th through the 15th picture in your phone. So you get a choice of 5, but you got to pick which picture you want to show us. And
right now?
Right now, baby.
Please don't be in nostalgia, okay?
Ooh, it better not be no news. It better not be no news. Better not be.
Okay. How do I count? 1.
Not how do I count?
4, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, 15. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Woo! Needless to say, there it is. It's the proof.
And what is that? Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, I'm so happy you asked, and I'm happy it landed on this picture These are the candles I started making. I actually started a business about a week ago, actually last Monday. And I just said I want to make candles because I got tired of buying candles. They like really expensive. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I kept like I'm a hoarder, so I kept like a lot of empty glasses of candles, and I just decided to make these candles because they go in my living room or my dining room, excuse me. So
Ah,
y'all can tell me what y'all think.
I'm over here looking at my 15th picture. Oh, yay. I'm so glad I did. Oh, no, that's a post. That's a video. So one, two, three, four, five. Okay, it's not bad, though. I don't like it, but whatever. It is what it is.
Let's see. Of course, always falls upon the bougie.
You know I love a bell bottom. It is what it is. Love a bell bottom. So that was my first time in Massachusetts, and it was actually pretty cool. They have a lot of different laws there, so I was like, oh, okay, they're different, whatever. But other than that, it was cool. The scenery was nice. You know, I had a good time. I went to, out of all places, Longhorn, um, and it was so good. That was the best steak I've ever tasted in my life. So one of the things that I love to do with my guests is give them a platform for their voice to be heard. And you already know how this flows, so I'm going to go ahead and ask that beautiful question. What's going on?
Waking up every day, like the makeup is it for me. So
Mm-hmm.
my goal, my dreams, my aspirations is to be on Calvin Klein magazine, to be
Yes.
one of the biggest makeup artists, or at least to say that I was able to do Rihanna's makeup. Fenty Beauty, the Fenty skin, like Fenty, everything is me, and
Yes.
I think that's just what I live for. And beauty, and so even with like straight men nowadays, I'm always like, "Hey, beautiful," and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," "Hey, sir, handsome."
What up, bruh?
Right, hey, what's going on? But I mean, like,
Woo, who was that?
beauty is just the biggest thing, and I just love art and makeup itself.
Yes. So, bring this topic up that you swear you wanted to surprise me with. That's what I want to hear. Well, I'm not disregarding all of the things that you're doing now. I do think you do beautiful
No,
makeup. But I've been patiently waiting for this one because you said it's gonna make me gag. So
yeah.
gag the girls.
So, what's the topic I want to discuss is the
Mhm.
heterosexual topic, which is like 50%, and then the gay topic, which is like 50%. But then the gay topic itself is, you know how many categories and titles there are to like gay? There's the gay mass, there's the gay femme, there's the gay trans, there's the
Oh yeah.
bisexual, there's the transgender, the curious, and I mean, even to like this day, even in my relationship, I am discovering that I like to dress up, but semi be like trans. I don't
Okay.
know. It's very curious to me because like even nowadays, I'm just like, well, if I wanted to transgender and I am now a girl, but I still love men, does that make me straight? There's
I
so
think it's
many different.
non-binary. I think that's like considered non-binary. Like you literally can do what you want. Like you don't claim to be just a gender. You do what you want with a free flow of things. I'm still learning this stuff. Please don't kill me, you guys. We still got to get in line, even in our black community. Shit, just in our gay community in general, because it's just a lot of titles, names, and things. And it's not that we're not trying to be respectful. We're just learning. But for me, I do believe that is like considered like non-binary, simply because you don't conform to any gender role. You just do what you want. You are who you want to be. Anyways, this is one of them. But so, but in your situation, I think that's what it is, which is okay. I wouldn't identify it as trans because trans is literally you transitioning your sex. Like, like I no longer, like I never identified as a man. I've always identified as a woman. So I've transitioned my life. By all means, jump in.
I mean, and I hate to interrupt, like, but the question is, like, okay, so for heterosexuals, an outsider, excuse me, an outsider in my eyes looking in, they're like, okay, so you were born a man, but you trans into a woman. Now you're with a woman who trans into a man. Are you straight? Are you gay? Like, to me, it confuses. Even I'm confused, and I'm like, when people ask me, I'm like, I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. So there's women. Well, there's women, because I'm trying to say this correctly. There's women who transition to be a man because they always identify as a man. They never felt girly. They never felt like that was the category that they fit into, and but they're still attracted to men. So I guess it's just more so like, okay, well now I've went through my process, my procedure. I identify as a man, but let's call it what it is. I still want,
Mm-hmm.
I,
Right. It's
but like, it's just more so like, you caught me off guard with this one. You really surprised the hell out of me.
you
Okay.
said surprise you, and I was like, well, maybe I'm gonna ask.
Well, I'm glad you did. So I'll give my point of view about it. Again, you guys can feel free to educate us both on this, but as well, like when it comes down to your identity, these people identify as either a woman or a man, but they still should have the choice of who they want to have sex with. Like that is what it is. But when it comes down to like them and their sex changes, they don't. It's not the fact that they had a choice in that. That's how I've been hearing. It's like they don't have a choice in that because that's just who they are. Same thing that with us being gay, people always said you had a choice. You had a choice. No, I was always interested in men. Like even growing up, I just what I liked, and it wasn't the fact that I had a broken home or any of those things because they try to come up with every excuse as to why we're gay. No, I just was gay because that's just all. That's what I like. That was what I was attracted to. That's what I desired and craved. It never had a thing for women, so it wasn't a choice. It was just the way that I maneuvered through life. My dad was in my life. My mom was in my life. I had a structured family. I didn't have any trauma or anything like that. Well, I'm not gonna say I didn't have trauma. I'm gonna say that I liked these things before I had trauma. I was doing these things before I had trauma. So going back to your original question, I don't think that it should. I can't tell you it shouldn't be confusing, but it's just more so like it's still their desire. Like mentally, they know that they are a man or they know that they are a woman. But when it comes down to a sex, it's just a preference. Even straight men either think about it or they become bi-curious, and then through that they find that they like it. Straight women, they there you can. How many times do we talk to women who say, I've tried it. I let her do this. I let her do that, and then a few years later, they're in a whole relationship with a woman.
Nine out of
So 9 out of 10. So with that being said, like it's sex is an option. Sex shouldn't have a limitation on it, and everyone should be able to explore it and do it however they want and please. Because who are we to judge? We just have to accept that, hey, maybe I don't want this, or maybe I do want to give this a try. I don't know how I would feel. I do know how I would feel if I pulled my man's pants down and there's no, I will be. But that's just my point of view of this whole thing. How do you feel in regards to like people changing their sex just to have sex with the opposite sex?
I feel it's a big step, especially from, I'm just gonna say, our ancestors who struggled. Like, I'm privileged to be in this position, to be openly gay, to be able to outcast myself and say, hey, I'm a gay Black man. But to now being taught, like, this is currently happening. This is a revolution of transgender and sex changes, and I'm no one to judge. I'm just as what's the word? inexperienced, uneducated as the heterosexuals. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know about this. And
Fair.
not something that I'm ashamed of knowing about, or to say, I mean, my gay son, he literally says, I want to be a drag queen, and I support him to the fullest extent. You know,
Mhm.
that's actually how I started discovering, like, I like to dress up. I like the boobs. I mean, not every day, but I mean, it's, yes. I mean, I never thought I would have seen that, but I love it.
Mhm.
I embrace it.
The difference for you is when it comes down to drag, as well as your son, that's a choice. You know, like you can turn it on and turn it off. For these people, this is their life. This is how they feel. This is what resonates with them. This is them stepping into their full them, like their true them, their true version of them. And again, I still relate this to our sexual lifestyles. Like, I'm not gonna say lifestyles because that's just who we are. It's not a lifestyle. It's just I'm gay. You know, we're gay, but it took us years to feel comfortable enough to even claim that. It took us years to even step into this comfortability to to embrace that everybody's not going to like it, but I'm not doing this for a show and I'm not doing it for your entertainment. I'm just living my life. So if I'm just living my life, then let me do that. And either you're going to enjoy it or you're going to move the fuck out my way. Either way, either way, I'm not going to stop living my life because it makes you uncomfortable. Um, and I'm actually glad that you brought this conversation up because this is the perfect time to say that we do need to protect our trans community. African American trans women they're constantly being murdered, not just beat, or they're being murdered. And it's some of it I'm not going to say all of it, but a lot of it stems from straight men who are uncomfortable with the act that they committed, and versus them just embracing that they like. Sometimes they, because you see it because it's still there. So it's not the fact that you didn't know. You're not killing these people because you didn't know. You are killing them because you are embarrassed and uneducated. You are embarrassed and uneducated. And I always encourage people to one, push past your embarrassment and learn to embrace everything and everyone around you because it makes your life a whole lot better. But two, educate yourself. Educate yourself to understand that not only was this transition harder for them, not only do they already have to go through so much more than what you have to go through, but they're still taking a chance and they're risking their life just to meet someone in hopes that they will love them for them. Don't settle and don't put yourself in positions where people could judge you. And if they are judging you, you got to understand that those are not your people. Find your community because there are men out here who will love you, and there are women out here who will love you. It's just finding your community, but also being comfortable with you. And I really hope to God that we did not offend anyone. I just really want to let you know that we both are acknowledging that we are uneducated in this, but we're also both open to becoming educated because we want to make sure that we're putting out the right information to protect you and support you, which we already do in general. But we also want to position ourselves where we can educate others. And the best way to do that is to grab a friend or talk to someone and get those answers. Again, I don't know too much about it, but I can tell you what I do know. They're human and they deserve love, and sex should not have a limitation on it. You should be able to have a conversation and discuss things and enjoy sex. Sex is meant to be enjoyed. It's a pleasure. It's therapeutic. It is what it is. Sorry, I went on my tangent. I do apologize.
You hit it right on the head.
But I just I want people to know that we are opening that door for you guys to educate us. With that being said, I'm going to skip one part and I'll come back to it. with that being said, seeing that we want to be educated, you can hit me up on Instagram. That's SANPRIEST __, and you can either come on my show or you can just reach out to me and send me links. Give me things to read. But I think it'll be better if you talk to me about it because that's how I learn. I learn through conversations. As well, TJ, where can they find you?
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. It's all TJ Shaw, T-JAYSHAW.
Yes. So again, like take a little time. Do not take this conversation the wrong way, but take this as two black men trying to understand and support you better. And again, the best way to do that is by listening, having conversations, as well as being open to those uncomfortable conversations because we genuinely want to learn, you know? So open that door for us and we'll open that door back, you know? High note. So with that being said, it is time to grab an item. I need you got 10 seconds to grab an item that is close to you. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, my fingers, 5, 4, 3, a 2, and a 1. So the name of the game is Sell It to Sand. And before you sell it to me, I want to give, and the way you sell it to me, you got to convince me to want to buy whatever is in your hand. But I want to give you some background music.
Is this my cue?
Yes.
I was not ready for this.
Yes. Okay, we're gonna start over and go. Sell it. Give it to me.
Have you ever saw yourself wanting to just come home from a long day of work and turning it all off? Well, introducing Beauty Juice.
Yes.
Beauty Juice. Yes.
Beauty Juice. Yes. And where can we find this Beauty Juice?
You can find TJ Shaw's Beauty Juice on Snapchat, Instagram,
Yes. Yes.
Twitter.
Yes. And that's also where we can find you, correct?
Absolutely. T-JAY Shaw.
Yes. I loved all of this. So I just want to say thank you so much for asking the right questions as well as shouting out the right organizations, because if I've taken anything away from this is that we have to position ourselves to educate ourselves. And once we do, not just educate ourselves, we have to educate ourselves and we have to open our hearts to love everyone and take time to understand someone else's world because you never know what they went through. So I thank you for that. I thank you for being bold. I thank you for being strong. I thank you for being beautiful because you did something that a lot of people cannot do. And you took time to use this platform correctly. So thank you. But I just want to say, you guys, well, before I end, TJ, is there anything you want to say to the world?
I just want to say, I mean, at the end of the day, you have yourself. You know, love and self-love is the most important thing into this life. Sometimes we hate to face it, but we came into this world alone. We're going to leave alone. So take this time to love yourself, educate yourself, and be the best version of you, unapologetically.
Yes. And ask the right questions, child. But with that being said, you guys, we are coming to an end, and I really do hope that you come back and join us next Thursday for another Adventures of Sanpriest. Now, you guys know, if I could leave you with one thought, it would be, if you don't toot your own horn, sometimes you won't have no music. So you go ahead and toot, baby. You toot that thing up, mommy, let it roll. Won't you?
I cannot.
CJ, I forgot you can't dance. I'm just kidding. Boom, you guys, guess what? I have released my first single, She's Bad. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Apple Music. You can find it on any streaming platform. All you have to do is type in Sanpriest and I will pop up because I am the one and only Sanpriest. So please take time to listen to She's Bad. Tell me what you think and comment below.
I know you've been searching for somebody who will set you free. I wanna be another long time because that the makeup wasn't me.